Race to watch for Player of the Year. You've got Colin Gillespie as the preseason Big East Player of the Year. But in that race, I think you have several contenders. Julian Champagnie averaged 20 a game last year. He's very much in this race. His teammate Posh Alexander is the reigning Big East freshman and defensive player of the year. Then you go to Xavier, Paul Scruggs. Seton Hall's Jared Roden appears to be ready to be the star for the Pirates. So it's a really interesting Player of the Year race. Sure, Gillespie is the leader in the clubhouse. Keep an eye on Justin Moore for Villanova too. And for that matter, coaches love everything about Jermaine Samuels and the way that he plays the game. So an open Player of the Year race. It wasn't really an open Player of the Year race when this guy was playing because he racked up all the hardware in his days on the hilltop. It's Patrick Ewing, who last season led the Georgetown Hoyas to one of the best stories in all of college basketball. In a strange season, a traditional brand in the sport rose up at the world's most famous arena. That is Georgetown, winning their Big East record 8th tournament title. What was that like? And what does this Hoyas team look like with so much youth? I sat down with the fifth-year Georgetown head coach, Patrick Ewing. Here he is on his program.
For the first time since 2007, the Georgetown Hoyas are Big East tournament champions and NCAA.
We are joined by the head coach of the reigning Big East champions, Patrick Ewing of the Georgetown Hoyas. How's that sound?
It sounds great, John. Very proud of my guys, how they handled themselves last year. Went on a great run at the end of the season and was able to pull out that Big East victory.
Aminu Mohammed is the Big East preseason freshman of the year. You're coaching him every day. What are you seeing from him?
Like I told him, I don't care about preseason rankings or preseason awards. It means anything. I expect for him to be there at the end of the year. I expect for him to have a great year, and I expect for us to have a great year. Right now they have us ranked 10th, and last year I think they had us ranked 11th. So it's not where you start, it's where you finish. You know, he's a great talent. He's a humble kid. He's a hard-working young man, and with all of those things, I think he'll have a successful career here at Georgetown.
How much can Tyler Beard and Jordan Riley add to this team's backcourt?
They're all going to have opportunities to play. I expect nothing but great things out of both of them. Everyone on our team. You know, everyone will have an opportunity to play and shine.
You said it with Dante. Everybody has to earn it.
Right.
So for your freshman class, there are stars next to a name, but I know that's not how you go about things here. So when they come in and you recruit them here, you talk about what can happen here, and when they start to jump in here, how do you go about coaching freshmen?
Well, you know, you have to give them some rope. You have to give them some leeway. They're gonna make mistakes. It's growing pains. You know, and ever since I've been here, I've played freshmen. You know, starting from day one, our freshmen have gotten opportunities to play. So it'll be the same. You know, those guys, they'll have opportunities. How much they play or how long they play is all going to be predicated on them. How fast they pick up things, how hard they're going to play, and how easy they're going to leave that high school mentality and take it into take that next step and next jump into the Big East basketball.
The fans of this program recognize your last name. They also recognize another last name on the roster, although Mutombo comes to mind. What is it like coaching Dikembe's son? And I would imagine that he's the most difficult parent that you have to deal with.
Well, you know, he's always calling. He's always putting in his 2 cents. I think he believes that he's a coach also.
Sure.
But you know, he's a great friend. I call him my older brother, even though I'm supposed to be older than him. But Ryan is a great kid. He's very talented. I think he's going to have a great career here at Georgetown. He's much different than his dad. He has a lot more offense than his dad did. But we're trying to, get him to be even a little bit as good as his dad was defensively. He wants to shoot the three. He wants to be able to pick and pop, and he can do it. So we'll give him the opportunity to showcase his skill.
How many threes did you see Dikembe take?
None. None.
And how would that have gone if he did?
Well, definitely, when Big John was the coach, that wouldn't have happened. But as he went on in his career, I'm sure he those coaches might have let him. But the best part of him and his talent is he knew where his bread was buttered.
You ever take a three?
Not in college. But when we were in college, there wasn't any three.
Even a three.
There wasn't any three. I took a few in the NBA. Yeah. A few. Just a few.
Just a few.
Big East Hoops return, and we bring you the action like never before. Here we go. With live look-ins of all 7 games. Plus, you can watch your favorite team on its own channel on the Fox Sports app. The Big East Opening Night Tip-Off Show, Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1.
We wish Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, as well as Jim Jackson and Bill Raftery the best on the Opening Night Tip-Off Show. I hope that Raf brought a little bit of wine for Lav, and I hope Lav brought some cigars for Jimmy. That crew's going to be in for quite a night. How about Raft? I mean, people talk about how late he can go out. He's starting at 4:30 with Villanova and Mount St. Mary's on FS1. Then he'll be on the Opening Night Tip-Off Show. Bill Raftery is America's treasure. And for the Georgetown Hoyas, a young team this year, they need Dante Harris, their point guard, to be a leader. Even though he's a sophomore, he has to carry over what he did in the Big East tournament last season. Losing Qudus Wahab to Maryland, it's a big loss. They're going to rely on Timothy Ighoefe to be better now inside. His is the starting role, and at the 5 slot, that was such a strength for Georgetown. How do they overcome that now? Ighoefe, you have Ryan Mutombo as well. And for Mutombo, he's got the offensive game. They're trying to work on defense. Aminu Mohammed is going to come into this program, though, and be relied upon from the get-go. He's a 5-star talent. He's got that kind of character. Expect the Big East preseason freshman of the year to live up to the hype, because this is someone who Patrick Ewing has been high on. He raved about him in our conversation there. Watch out for Mohammed, and watch out for this name, Caden Rice. He's a transfer from the Citadel, and he has hoisted 794 three-point attempts in his 4 years of college basketball. Never seen a shot that he doesn't like. So look for him to shoot from the perimeter. Georgetown needs that. This team might start with some hiccups, but Patrick Ewing has shown in his 4 previous years at the helm, he gets a team playing better by the time February and March roll around. Let's see what happens. A team looking to respond this season is the Providence Friars. They had been so consistent. And even before the pandemic stopped season 2 years ago, if you remember, Ed Cooley had the hottest team in college basketball, quite arguably, after Lawan Pipkins and the Friars beat Villanova on a winning streak in February that could have led them to the dance. Season gets stopped, and last year, the Friars just were never able to get started. We know one thing, though. They have a center, a star, in Nate Watson. He'll hold it down, and that's why he is on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar watch list. And he is a treat to talk to, as you'll find out here. We are on campus at Providence College with the big man. He's on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar watch list. He's a preseason All-Big East first-team selection. It is the Providence Friars, Nate Watson. And we're outside the Ruane Fryer Development Center, Nate. This was not here when you were a freshman. It was being built. What kind of a difference has it made?
It's definitely made a big difference in terms of my conditioning-wise, and I'm always in there in the hydro tank, the float tank, the nap pods. Whenever I'm sleepy, I just go in there and take a nap. And so, I've definitely loved this and what they've done to this facility, and so yeah, I'm very appreciative.
You want to take a walk?
Yeah, let's take a walk.
All right. For you, coming back here, how easy of a decision was it?
It was very easy. I mean, last year I didn't play in front of fans, and I really miss, the Friar fans, just the energy and the dunk. And so coming back was definitely an easy decision. Definitely I wanted to do what's best for me in terms of my future and what's best for the program.
We're walking by this little lobby. Everyone's staring at you.
I know it's kind of awkward, but I mean I'm used to it.
You're used to getting stared at around here.
Yeah, I'm a giant around campus, so.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. To be a big man, tell us what that's like in college basketball, how you go about your daily business.
Well, definitely, society doesn't think us big men are, really, they think we should all just shoot threes. I beg to differ. I don't think we have to, shoot threes in order to be a good big man in today's game. I mean, obviously, you look at last year, not to be cocky or anything, but I mean, I did have a okay season. I averaged 16.9 points without shooting a single three. Remember that, So, yeah, I mean, I definitely think, if you have a good motor, you outwork your opponent. I think being a big man is definitely good nowadays.
How is this Friars team different?
Well, this year we definitely have a lot more, older pieces. We have a lot more leaders this year, including myself. Guys, we really all want the same goal this year. We lost David, and he's chasing his dream, so I'm happy for him. But we got Al Durham, transfer from Indiana, and got Justin, transfer from South Carolina. So we're definitely trying to make big moves this year, and I'm really happy that these guys came.
You're a sharp-dressed man.
I think so. I got these shoes on. I didn't pay for.
Yeah, what? You didn't pay for those?
No, I didn't pay for
Okay.
these.
What kind of shoes are these?
These are just Nike Jordans,
Yep.
retro ones.
What's your favorite pair of shoes?
Favorite pair of shoes actually are my Yeezys. I love Yeezys. They're very comfortable.
My brother has a pair.
He does? Oh, wow.
I went and golfed in them last year and got reamed out.
Yeah, you can't golf in Yeezys.
Yeah, that was a bad decision by me. To someone who's never been in the Dunkin' Donuts Center, what is it like on a game day?
It's definitely energetic. I mean, the fans are loud to the point where the seats are vibrating. So I would say if someone's coming to the Dunk, definitely expect some, rowdy fans. They definitely tell you if you're doing something wrong. They definitely praise you if you're doing something right. So that's what I love about them.
Good luck this year.
Thank you.
It's a big year for Providence, and Nate Watson understands that. Ed Cooley understands that. You think about this program up until 2019, they were making NCAA tournaments, had gone to 5 out of 6 NCAA tournaments, but here last year, they just couldn't find enough out on the perimeter. Now they bring in an Indiana transfer, Al Durham, who should really be a factor for their offense. They need a playmaking guard. You lose David Duke, so you need somebody to step in and make plays. Durham, who wear number 1, as you just saw on your screen, he is that game changer. Of course, they have a couple other transfers, too. They have Justin Minaya coming in from South Carolina. There's Jared Bynum, a guy who came in from St. Joe's, but last year was hurt. Can he stay healthy? And then will we see the real A.J. Reeves? Ed Cooley says we will. Now can Reeves be this guy who catches, shoots, and hits those shots? I think now they have a playmaking guard in Durham. He's Big Ten tough coming into the Big East. He understands what it means to win. And he's someone who, at Indiana, he averaged around 11, 12 points per game, made some plays. I think for Providence, he's going to be relied upon so much that he might just relish that opportunity. So you have a big man in Watson. You have a playmaking guard in Durham. Reeves and Bynum, they need to be consistent. If they are, this Providence team will finish better than what they were selected, and that is 7th. In their early season schedule, you think about it, they start out with a couple of games that should help them tune up. Fairfield and Sacred Heart, both the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Gavitt games. Monday night at Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Brad Davidson, I think, is on his 10th year of college basketball. Somehow he's still back with the Badgers. Badgers, though, they're a middle Big Ten team. Still tough to go to Madison and win. Then you host New Hampshire, and then you're in Newark to meet Northwestern, a Northwestern team that might be getting slept on a little bit, and then either Georgia or Virginia. You want to beat Northwestern to get your shot at Virginia. That's what you want there if you're the Friars. Then as we get into December, they have Texas Tech and Rhode Island. This schedule's solid. They have opportunities on it. And Ed Cooley seems to do well when he's counted out. There's no question. There's doubts around Providence. And they have to be better defensively as well this season. So that's another big area that we'll see if they can evolve in. And I think Al Durham could be this team's most important player this season. So we talked about the team picked 7th in the Big East. How about the team picked 6th? That's the Butler Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are an interesting team because they do have that experience. We'll get to them in just a moment after a brief timeout. All right, let's talk about these Butler Bulldogs now. Interesting team because last season, this team dealt with some injuries. They really got hit hard with COVID early in the year, and Aaron Thompson wasn't healthy. In games that Aaron Thompson did not play in, Butler went 4-7. But get this, folks, experience wins. Get this nugget right now. The only team that returns more minutes from last season in all of college basketball is UCLA. That's it. That's the only team outside of Butler. And UCLA is ranked preseason number 2. You're telling me that this Butler team can't make the big dance? They're too experienced to have a down year. This team should be a factor in the Big East Conference. Let's look at their early season schedule here. Let's open it up and take a look at this slate. It starts out for them to be able to notch some wins. What a major game next Wednesday night when they welcome in Tom Izzo and Michigan State. A Michigan State team, it's not common that you see them unranked. That'll be an interesting game at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And then they go out to Vegas. It's not Maui, but it is the city where what happens there stays there. And for Butler, a Maui Invitational that will be challenging. Tough game against Kelvin Sampson and Houston right off the top. And then you have Texas A&M or Wisconsin. They'll have that Crossroads Classic in December. It's a solid schedule for Laval Jordan's team. This is a team, though, that knows they're getting slept on. And we discussed that and much more in Indy earlier this preseason. You guys are thought to be the sleeper team in the Big East.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why are people sleeping on you?
I don't know. I feel like they're going off the result that we had last season. We're not here to make any excuses or anything like that, but we know we're capable of, we know what we bring to practice every day. So we don't really worry about what people are saying. So we feel like if they're sleeping on us, like let them keep sleeping.
So many players throughout the offseason went through a change of scenery in some way, shape, or form. You guys had so many obstacles last season. The COVID pauses early in the season especially spoke for themselves, and you dealt with injuries. Right. After all that, Aaron, why is this place home?
I just feel like it's home because of the people. I feel like the coaches make it home, and my teammates. Like we're all just one big family. I feel like everything that we go through, like nobody's pointing the finger or anything like that. It's just all like we're in this together. So whatever we go through, we're gonna find a way to get through it together. I think that's what make this place special. Nobody's blaming or pointing the finger. I think everybody's just in it for one goal, and that's just to make the next person better, sacrifice for the next person.
You know, obviously it was a unique year last year, which then leads to a unique year this year with guys coming back for a 5th or 6th year. Aaron Thompson, Christian David, Jared Bolden, Bryce Enzi all decided to come back, and then bringing in Ty Gross, who's got plenty of college basketball experience, and Bo Hodges. So it makes it unique, certainly. We've got 15 players on scholarship, and we got a huge range with Jair Bolden, who's 24 years old, and Jaden Taylor, who just turned 18, which it creates a unique situation. But the thing I've enjoyed is those guys wanted to come back for the right reasons for Butler. They're on a mission. Not pleased with how last year went, and having the opportunity to kind of have another last dance together. And they're doing a great job of teaching the young guys kind of how we do things here in terms of our culture and our principles.
You came right in, you looked comfortable with this program, and it's hard to do that as a freshman for a lot of freshmen. What is it about you that really matches with LaVall Jordan and the Butler Bulldogs?
Definitely our chemistry that I got from day one of meeting him. We clicked together. I really respect what he has to say. He really respects what I have to say. It's definitely a mutual feeling between me and him. And that, along with him being a great coach and just teaching me every day how to be a better player, how to be a better man, it all fits together.
What are the differences in this particular team this season that you think are going to allow you to take that next step and be a team that can make the NCAA tournament?
I think we're an old group of guys, had a lot of basketball under our belt, and I think just maybe outsmarting people and just being more smart in the court and just having the experience will help us get to that point.
What's something that we have not seen from Bryce Enzi that we're about to see this season?
Yeah, I think you guys just got that traditional back to the basket type player. For me, it's just showing I could expand my game. To be honest, I'm more comfortable on the perimeter. I guess whatever happens just happens, but we'll see.
We thank the Bulldogs for the time, and we shall see. They have the front court duo in Bryce Enzi and Bryce Golden to hold things down. How they navigate without Bo Hodges, who was the East Tennessee State transfer, really added a lot down the stretch last season. Then you've got Ty Gross still nursing an injury for the Dogs' Eastern Michigan transfer. They can navigate through that here early in the season. Chuck Harris is a bucket getter. Aaron Thompson is the stabilizing presence. The Dogs could be that sleeper in the Big East. As AT said, let them keep sleeping. A new era starts tonight in Milwaukee for Marquette basketball. 8:30 Eastern Time over on FS2. It will be the Marquette Golden Eagles taking on SIU Edwardsville. And for Shaka Smart and his program, what a night this is, as Marquette is a program that really has not been able to achieve the results that they strive to here over the last 8 seasons. This was a program that made the second weekend of the NCAA tournament in 2011, 12, and 13. Shaka Smart is going to play up-tempo basketball, defensive pressure. He's got a Maryland transfer in Darryl Morsell, a Power Conference transfer in Kerr Kweth in the paint, and a star in Justin Lewis. Let's see their early season schedule. We will be inside Fiserv Forum next Monday ahead of Marquette and Illinois. That's right, Golden Eagles hosting the 11th ranked Illini. Now, Kofi Copeland will not play in that game. The big man, the All-American candidate, that's a big difference in that particular matchup. That'll tip off the Gavitt games. Then Marquette will go down to Charleston. Interesting field there. You see West Virginia potentially if they can get by Ole Miss. That would be a big-time matchup. But some manageable games here. Nonetheless, though, major tests for a young retooling program. In December, they're going to take on Wisconsin, and they're going to take on UCLA on back-to-back Saturdays on Fox. So for the Golden Eagles, no rest here in Shaka Smart's first season. But can they be a team that maybe goes under the radar and picks off some opponents by virtue of having a new-look style under a motivated head coach in Smart? We'll see. That's one question. There are many that we get. We pick the best 3 from the Shootaround mailbox. Let's see what we have here. Question number 1. Hello, Brendan. Brendan asks, aside from R.J. Cole and Adama Sanogo, who do you think could make or break the season for UConn when it comes to adjusting to an offense without James Bouknight? Well, Tyrese Martin is a candidate for sure, Brendan. Tyrese Martin is someone who averaged around 10 points per game last year. They expect him to average around 14 or 15 this season. He's on the wing. He is a lengthy wing who can make perimeter shots. He can take you to the cup and finish. And Dan Hurley believes he could be a guy that could be a pro at some point. Adama Sanogo as well should make a leap as a sophomore. Sanogo is someone who last year, at the end of last season, was really starting to thrive. Can Andre Jackson stay healthy? He was injured for much of last season. But you see Martin, his ability to run the floor, he's a guy who they need to take that next step, and he has that pro type of build. Look, R.J. Cole is going to be asked to hit big shots for this team, and they need Jalen Gaffney to step it up too in the post-Bouknight times. But for UConn, their bread and butter is defense and rebounding. What makes or breaks them if they find that alpha male down the stretch in games. We'll see if they find that here, especially when their schedule toughens up. They have some tune-me-up games before they get Auburn in the Bahamas in the battle for Atlantis. Question number 2. What are we thinking for the Johnnies this season? JF says, Eddie Pinstripes. Hello, Eddie. Sorry about the Yankees. It's Johnny's season now, and I'll tell you what, I think this team is an NCAA tournament team, and I bought some stock in them last season. That stock has only grown in value. You know why? Posh Alexander is big time. He's a point guard who is stout defensively. Dylan Adaiwusu, when fully healthy, is going to really impact this team and did last year. And Julian Champagne's the best bucket getter in the Big East Conference. He really is. He is an elite scorer. The game comes easy for him. For St. John's, the two biggest things that they acquired. Number one, size. Joel Soriano from Fordham, Aaron Wheeler from Purdue. So how do those guys impact the way St. John's plays? And then perimeter shooting. Tariq Coburn from Hofstra, Steph Smith from Vermont. St. John's had addition by subtraction with their roster departures. They brought in, though, impact transfers who should help them. I am bullish on St. John's, and you can mark it down right now. I think that this St. John's team can absolutely and will end a 21-year drought. This program has not won an NCAA tournament game since 2000. That drought ends this year. That drought ends this year. Final question. It comes in from our friend Melissa. Melissa says, how patient do notoriously impatient Marquette fans need to be? Note, no matter what you say, we will be impatient. Melissa, take a deep breath. Have a glass of water. Have a spotted cow, if you will, Melissa. You have a new era tonight, and you can't expect everything to get rolling this season. Marquette doesn't have that level of firepower on this team on paper. They could sneak up on some people. Daryl Morcell's a great ad for this team, and Justin Lewis is a really impactful player who should be a star if everything pans out. This team's a little bit thin, though, in terms of backcourt depth. They're young. They have Cam Jones. They have Stevie Mitchell. Those are freshmen. It takes time to learn. I think in the front court, they've got the right kind of length. I think they'll defend. X factor, Tyler Kolek, transferring from George Mason. He could shoot the basketball, and he's a gym rat. Watch out for him. I like the way he plays. But I think, Melissa, you got to breathe. I think Marquette basketball's going in the right direction under Shaka Smart. I think that this hire matches the program and the coach well. So have a spotted cow, and you'll be all right. All right, Big East Hoops opening night tip-off, 6:30 Eastern Time. It's on FS1. But if you want to watch your team, their entire game, you go to the Fox Sports app. Everybody's got one of these by now. Okay, you go to the Fox Sports app, and you head there. The games will be there. So if you're a Connecticut fan, you want to watch your team play Central Connecticut in its entirety, I would suggest you watch Bill Raftery and Steve Lavin joke to each other, too, on the opening night tip-off. But you can watch the whole game on the app. On your laptop, on your iPad, on your iPhone. You can watch St. John's face Mississippi Valley at 7:45 on the Fox Sports app. You can watch Butler face IUPUI on the Fox Sports app. Villanova, Mount St. Mary's, that's on FS1 at 4:30. Marquette, SIU, Edwardsville, that's on FS2 at 8:30 Eastern Time. All the other games are part of a whip-around show on FS1. You can watch the entirety of the game, though, on the Fox Sports app. I want to make people aware of that here, folks. It's a new way of watching opening night. You got whip-around coverage back and forth. You got Lav and Jimmy and Raft. And how does Rob Stone make all these guys mesh together? He's the magic man out in Los Angeles. They'll get you rolling here very, very shortly. We are heading on the road next week, and we're going to Milwaukee. November the 15th, that's next Monday. Marquette hosting Illinois. We'll be on with a pregame show from the Fiserv Forum. And then our next campus stop will come December 1st, Providence, Rhode Island. Big East, Big 12 battle. The opener between the Friars and Mark Adams' Texas Tech Red Raiders. Texas Tech is an interesting team, flying under the radar a little bit this season. That's a big game between two teams who will need that resume victory as Providence will take on Texas Tech. Follow us all night at Big East MBB. Catch the action on FS1. 4:30, you get the 4th-ranked Villanova Wildcats taking on Mount St. Mary's, whether the game's at 4:30 or whether the Friday nighter at 11:30 Eastern Time between Villanova and UCLA. You keep following us. We're with you 24/7 from here on out, folks. College basketball is back with fans in the stands. We'll talk to you from Milwaukee next week on Shootaround. Enjoy the opening night. Hope you saved up on your Oval Rodenbacher's reward points.